And we are live. How are we doing tonight? What's up, everybody? How are y'all doing? If you're new here for the first time, I'm James Jackson. I am a filmmaker out here in Philadelphia, and I like to talk about gear. I'd also like to basically help give tips that can help make you better filmmakers, but also help us all grow in the same space. And I like talking about news and all that stuff. I'm sorry, I'm rambling because there is quite a lot to talk about tonight. A lot, and I've been up. And for those of you that joined me on Simon, aka Ordinary Filmmakers live stream, thank you guys so much for stopping by on there. I know it was very, very late. And thank you guys for even stepping. I know we're a little bit hour later, but mixture of personal life and just a lot of things happening to prepare for this stream. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot to talk about today, and I am, as you can see, I'm really excited, and also maybe it helps that I have like a large cup of cold brew here to keep me going at least for a couple more hours for today. But how are you all doing? Hopefully I'm sounding fine. I'm not going too crazy. I'm not doing too not too loud. But yes, a lot to talk about. I mean, we got to talk about the Canon R6 Mark III. Even the lens that they announced with it too, the 45mm f1.2. Really got to talk. So we're going to kick off with that. Then we got to talk Sony, because Sony, at least in relation to Blackmagic finally updated the video assist with the providing support to FX3 and FX30 users, so you can finally get BRaw. While yes, now that Resolve now has ProRes RAW, there is some differences that I have seen from using ProRes RAW versus Blackmagic RAW in terms of the RAW controls. I've got a couple sample footages for you guys here. So again, I don't mean sample, I mean very brief sample. Like, I literally got the update yesterday, and I've just been running constantly. So I only got a few samples, but it's enough to talk about. So definitely good at. And of course, I know a lot of you guys are here for this guy right here, the Pyxis 12K. So I want to brief this and say this. I have yet to film a single thing with this camera yet. I literally got it yesterday. And I got the Pyxis monitor with it. And I've only got a few items, so it's not a fully assembled kit. And some of the things I thought I tried didn't work. I'll cover all of that. And also, please, if you got questions about the Pyxis 12K, leave them in the chat. I will start filming. There is some things I have noticed, and especially I'm going to talk today in terms of trying to build something that's a little bit compact, a little bit more run and gun, and talk about things that could possibly use for run and gun situations. Mainly because that's sort of how I was looking at this, and I want to sort of just talk about it that way. And also, I'll talk a little bit about media and sort of media management, particularly in 4K, because everybody has talked about 12K and 8K who has gotten this camera, but not really anybody's talked about the 4K format. So I was interested in that, and I got a chance to look at some things. So hopefully that could help you guys out. So yeah, there's a lot today. All good, and I can already see that the channels are starting to the chat is popping, so that's great to hear. Robert, thank you for joining me. Good that I'm still excited that ProRes RAW is going to be in there. And for those of you that missed my interview from Blackmagic, definitely check it out. But they did mention that they are looking to implement ProRes RAW into much more of their own cameras. So they didn't specifically say which ones, but I think this is going to be one of the ones that they're going to try to put ProRes RAW based on what they're talking about. So who knows? We shall see. If you're here, definitely make sure to hit the likes. Carol, yes, man, you got a full plate, sir. Lots of new stuff. Yes, lots of new stuff. And there's still stuff I'm not even going to talk about, like, especially even Blackmagic. Like, they just updated DaVinci Resolve again. And then there's rumors of some rumors of some other cameras. But honestly, the R6 is just enough in terms of what was rumored and what was confirmed. Again, we'll get all that in today. So everybody. Kadeem, thank you. Carolyn, thank you. CC Cozarts, thank you for joining. Stu's World says, Jess, thank you for joining. Yes, I finally got the Pyxis. And yes, I'll actually talk about that. I'll actually go into more about that because you might, there's an interesting conversation around that of the very, very little test that I've done with the video assist with the Sony FX3. So keep that in mind. So, again, we got a lot to talk about. So let's not waste time. Let us talk about the big news that came out at the beginning of the day. And when I mean the beginning of the day, I mean literally the beginning of the day, 1 o'clock in the morning. Oh man, I don't know how me, Simon, Jared, and Brian, Byron, Brian, sorry, I'm still recovering. How we all didn't talk about it, but got through it. But as I mentioned before, we now have the, let me start this. We now have the Canon EOS R6 Mark III. It is finally out. Shout out to Pro AV TV for this. This is their footage. I want to just make sure I give credit for all this. But yeah, so when the rumors came out, we assumed, again, it was rumored that it essentially was going to be the R6, the Canon C50 with 95% of it at almost $1,000 less. And that is essentially what it is. It's the Canon C50 with an EVF. It has IBIS for under $1,000 less. Now, obviously, there is definitely some differences. So some of the differences that I think we should definitely go into talking about is the fact that it doesn't have the top hat. It won't have the top handle. I don't know if it works. It does have that Canon's hot shoe. So will it be? I don't think it will work with it because I think you need you need the screws to sort of hold it down. So I'm not sure if this will actually work, if Canon will allow that to work. Doesn't have the fan, so it won't be as resistant to overheating as the Canon C50. From what I've been seeing over all the onlines, if you're just shooting 24 frames a second, it seems like you don't have to worry about overheating. It is when you're shooting the 4K fine 60 frames a second that's when you will see overheating. From what I heard, it could be anywhere from like 28 minutes to roughly an hour before you run into it. Again, the environment will make up a lot more of that versus everything else. So, but like I'll say this, it still has a lot of the features that the C50 has. It has 7K RAW. It has up to 60 frames a second. It has 7K open gate up to 30 frames a second. It has the various codecs similar to RAW. It has Canon Log 2, just like the C50. Again, 95% of the features of the Canon C50 is in this camera. And it also includes in-body stabilization and an EVF. So I was curious to see how people that may have pre-ordered the Canon C50 and how they would react, or people that were excited about the C50 and how they feel about this. After giving some time to sleep and really think about it, I don't think it's as big of a deal that it has similar features because there's different needs. I know for a lot of my people that do serious professional filmmaking, they're still going to go with the C50 mainly because it's way more reliable with its thermal with its fans. It's going to be much more a reliable camera. The top handle and that XLR audio unit is going to be they love that a lot more. It will also have certain features like shutter angle that will just make shooting a lot easier that this camera won't have. So there's a lot of these little things that, for me, that talking to my colleagues are much more important, way more important than even something like IBIS or something like an EVF. Like, to me personally, I'm okay without the IBIS and the EVF. Now, is that worth the additional $1,000? I mean, if you compare this to what the C50 is going to really be an FX, sort of line with FX3, it's still more affordable than the FX3. So that's number one. And it all depends. Again, it depends. At the very least, the way, and this is why I say it's a benefit, because if you're not sure if it makes that difference, that's still great because you got an alternative option that if you want something that you want to use more in IBIS, or you want to really, if you really are more of a hybrid shooter, this is a more beneficial, this camera that may fit you and you'll be okay with it. So yeah, that's the thing that I personally feel about that particular, in terms of the the R6 Mark III. The other one, and to me, this is honestly the more exciting announcement, was the announcement of the Canon 45mm f1.2. And personally, this is, I was more excited about this announcement. Again, shout out to Pro AV TV for their video and their coverage of it. I love this. I love it because, for those of you that know, I'm a big fan of the 40 to 45mm range. That's sort of my voice. That's the focal length that speaks to me. Where there's a little bit extra room for 50, where 50 feels a little bit tight, but you still get that sense of the world feels together, if that makes sense. I don't want to use the word compression. I just feel like the world just feels more, it feels like it should be. It feels more natural. The world, it feels more together, if that makes sense. So so having this and the fact that it's an f1.2, but of course the big thing is it's just the price. It's $500. $500. I never thought I would see Canon release an f1.2 lens for $500. That's the that to me is the exact the insanity. And if I was still a Canon shooter, if I still had Canon cameras, that is a lens I would be pre-ordering right now. I know if you are a Canon shooter, again, I don't like to impersonate my biases. I just like giving my reasons for my biases. But if you're someone like me that just likes to work more in that wide medium space, this is and if you're in a Canon a shooter, to me this is a no-brainer. This is a no-brainer of a lens. I can't. I'm really, really excited. So if I do ever get another Canon lens, this is going to be my go-to lens for that. So, but I would love to know what you guys think about the Canon R6 Mark III, and as well as the Canon 45mm 1.2. Let me know in the chat. Let me know if you're watching this later. Let me know down below. So let's have a conversation. Let's see what you guys think about this camera. So, oh wow, gotta go back. So, yes, Jess, the A75 is still technically a rumor. There's nothing been officially confirmed, but Andre Bazzini is rumoring to that it's going to come out before the end of the year. So, even before Christmas. Draga, what's up? Thank you for joining. No FX6 in the house. This just the Pyxis 12K, which I'm excited to talk about. Okay, how bright is the monitor of the camera? Is any reflection? So I'm gonna definitely come back and just remember. So Stu, definitely when I get to the Pyxis 12K, just put it back in the chat, because I definitely don't want to miss it. I'll just say for right now, the little bit of time that I got a chance to use it in the bright, it's actually a pretty bright monitor, and the monitor hood that you see right here is actually pretty good at holding out reflections. Now, right now, my computer is like directly in opposition to that. But if you want, while we do a little break, I'll power it up so you can see. So what I do notice is that the camera monitor comes on first before the Pyxis. It takes a little bit of time, and then so again, my monitor is really bright, so that's kind of blocking a lot of that. But it's actually pretty bright. I don't even have this at full brightness yet, so just so you guys can see. I'm gonna power this down. And like I said, we will get to this guy. But so I had it upstairs in my kitchen, checking out the monitor when I got it assembled, and because at that time the sun was like going through my kitchen window, and I could still very visibly clearly see the image out of the monitor. So I'll get back to it, but I definitely will. Forget all about the Canon. All right. Like I said, I'm moving fast. I know we got a lot to talk about. So a real 24 frames per second? No, for the R6 Mark III, I don't think it has true 24 frames per second. I think it's just 23.98. I could be wrong. So I will definitely say I don't know for sure, but if I remember correctly, I don't remember anything about true 24 frames a second. Sean, what's up, man? What's up? Thank you. Yeah, thank you for joining that Ordinary Films live stream. I really appreciate it. So I was not planning on getting it anyway, but I'm still disappointed that the R6 III is not compatible with the cooling grip. Interesting. Okay, yeah. I'm not sure that I could have sworn Jared's and somebody our other guests say it was, but again, I could be. So it looks like I may be wrong or something was missing. There's a lot of things that I'm hearing. Oh, it was this, and it's not the case. So again, it's the first day. So I think once it gets into actual people's hands, you'll have a better, clearly understanding of that. Petapixel's got R6 to overheat under certain circumstances. Yes. So I know specifically 4K 60 will overheat. So unless you're Tony and Chelsea Northam, who must shoot everything in 60 frames a second, I won't say majority, but I'll say a good strong majority. I'll say like 65-70% of shooters are not going to shoot 4K 60 constantly. Trevor, what's up, man? Thank you for camming this, and yeah, thank you for joining me on the show earlier. I really appreciate it. Like I said before, I like that the C50 matches the R6 and love that it's the same menu style as the R50V. Yeah, and I think that's another good thing. It's like you got two cameras that share the same sensor, so it's easier to match. For me, that's not as important, but I also know that I know I'm more in a niche in that category, mainly because I color grade almost all of my projects. I know not a lot of people do that, but you have to hand it off. But it's easy. It is really easy for me to make a LUT that matches different cameras. And if you guys saw I made a video months ago about showing something about the RE Log C3 and the Lumix S1 II, and the point I was trying to make was that you can match any camera to look like an RE Alexa, and I actually had an actual RE Alexa, got a chance to shoot with it, shot with my Cinema Camera 6K and the FX3, and I made all three of those cameras basically identical. And you have to really, really pixel peep in order to see the difference. So again, that's me. That's not going to be the case. Not a lot of people are into are into being that deep with the color grading. They want to just shoot and move on to the next one. So, for those people, this is a great thing. You got your C50 potentially as your A camera, and then your R6 III as your B camera. We're basically making life easier for you. Which, look, it's never a problem. It's never a big thing to make life easier. So is this new Canon? They're still looking for the next 5D Mark III. I think no. I honestly, this is actually a great question, Trevor, and I think this is actually something that I think I'm officially ready to say. I think Canon has really turned a page. Because let's be honest, guys, this Canon like 4 or 5 years ago would not be dropping a camera literally what was it even a month since the C50 announced? Maybe a little bit more than a month, like 2 months, a couple months at most since the announcement of the C50 that they drop another camera with literally like 95% of the same features, with features that some people felt was deal breakers, and it's $1,000 less. So yeah, I do like Canon wouldn't have done that. I do think this is Canon setting a new light, especially even again with the 45mm f1.2 for $500. Canon, I don't know if older Canon would have put a 45mm f1.2 for $500. So that's to me is like, yeah, I think Canon is really taking a lot of pages out of Sony, and basically was like, look, and you know what, I'm gonna give Lumix a huge amount of credit for this, because this was Lumix's mantra for years, which was if we can put it in the camera, we're gonna put it in the camera, even if it may not potentially make sense, we're gonna do it, and it looks like Canon is sort of following that same thing. So kudos to Canon, but also shout out to Lumix for getting these other companies to sort of follow that ideology. So Sean with an unpopular opinion. I'm glad that the sensor was not stacked or BSI, so it didn't lose on dynamic range. I love the R6 too, and would love the R6 III for extra megapixels. I don't think that's an unpopular opinion, man. There's actually quite a lot of people that I know that are okay that it's not a stacked sensor. Again, there's trade-offs for stacked sensors. For stacked sensors, they don't perform as well in lower light conditions. Those that are non-stacked, backside illuminated means it's going to perform better in low light. So that's good. And stacked sensors also, while they do reduce roll and shutter, they also reduce dynamic range, as you pointed out. So there's trade-offs for every single thing. And that's the thing with every single camera. Like, there will never be a perfect camera. I mean, even if a company had the tools to make the perfect camera, they're not going to do it, because then they would go out of business because they wouldn't be able to sell anything else. But the point I'm trying to make is that, yeah, I don't think that's some unpopular opinion. I think there's always going to be trade-offs with every single camera. It all depends on what your need is, and that's really what it always comes down to. So for me, I don't think it's a hot take. I think it's a very base take, if I want to say. Nope, it's not a typo, Trevor. It is that the new 45mm f1.2 is $500. In fact, I just saw it on the B&H announcement, and also I put the link for my affiliate link for B&H in the description, but I'll also put it here. So you guys can, if you guys want to get either the R6 Mark III, or if you are a Canon shooter and you want that 45mm 1.2, you can use the affiliate link, and helps the channel go a long way. But yes, it is $469, Trevor. So let me pull this up right here. As you see, $469 for a 45mm f1.2. Like, yeah, old Canon would never have done that, man. I would not trade in my Tamron 45 1A VC for a 45 1.2 without IS. Fair. I'm assuming, Robert, you have the EF version, not the mirrorless mounts, because correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think the 45 is there. First of all, I don't think there's a 45 in mirrorless, but I know which Tamron you're talking about. Great lens. I've just moved on from EF. Yeah, I agree. I feel like Canon is on the right path. I'm conflicted in getting either the 50-1.4 or the 45-1.2. I'm look, I if you're conflicted, Shala, um, if you're conflicted, I would say go find your closest camera store. Go find your closest camera store and take your camera in and ask if you could try out the lenses. Majority of local mom and pop stores, they're going to let you try out the camera. Most stores are going to let you try out the product before you buy it. So go ahead, get a feel of it. Take a look at how each one feels in the hands. See if they'll let you just snap a couple photos and see how it feels, or take a couple video clips real quick with it while you're in the store. The worst case scenario somebody could say is no. So I would definitely say test it and go to a local store, because they'll be happy, especially if they can get your support. And because we definitely need to support our local stores. I love B&H, and B&H is simple, but I have a local store that's out here in my area that if I get photography stuff, I try to go through there. Sony can take note on the affordable lenses. I buy that ASAP. Yeah. No. Oh, if Sony, well, technically there is something like that in Sony's ecosystem. It's the BATIS but it's from Carl from Zeiss, but it's the BATIS 40mm f2. Obviously, it's not as fast, but I love that lens. And you can probably even get it from like lens rentals. Actually will let you try it out, and then if you want, you can buy it directly. I bought mine from lens rentals, and it was only like $600. I think brand new, it's like it's still like $1,200. So yeah, it's still a lot of money, but hey, there a lot of the older glass that's on from Sony's lineup is actually getting really cheap. So I would say look aftermarket. You might be surprised at what you can find. Hey, say it's just since I was shadow banned from last night, I could say that you made some really solid points on the open gate. Oh, thank you. Why were you shadow banned? I was curious. I was on the way to that, but thank you. So S Kelly, this is actually cool. I shoot 4K 60 on all my shoots, but it's in clips, so you should be good. Yeah, like I said, I think majority of people, like, again, I think really I literally think, well, I won't say that. I will say in the North American space, literally I think Tony and Chelsea are the only ones that shoot like long length contents in 60 frames a second. I say North America because I know in Asia, 60 frames a second is very standard for video content there. So I think for Asian shooters, I think that may be a big deal for them. But outside of that, at least here in North America, yeah. You can't buy a vintage 50mm 1.2 for that. You probably could. If you go EF, there's some EF lenses that, like I said, EF lenses are super cheap. Super cheap. I think you could get like one of the older 50-1.2s for that price. Like I know you can get the 70-200 f2.8 IS. You can get that lens for $600 for the EF version, the Canon version. It's still one of the best lenses I've ever done. But yeah, so I'm gonna just try to. Lumix integrates EL zones into their camera. Speaking of Lumix, I know the Vericam got it. Did they announce that they're putting EL zone in their S series or in their mirrorless cameras? Because as far as I know, they weren't. The only other camera that integrated EL zone was Sigma with the FP. So did they integrate it? Because honestly, huge win. That's a huge win, and I will give all props to Lumix if that's what they really did. All right. The Tamron 45 was hard of a video though. Again, depending on what you did. If I will say this, yes, if you were just like getting The big thing was that the autofocus was extremely loud. That was the main thing. Some did it hunt sometimes, sometimes maybe, yeah. Okay, but yeah, I had that and I enjoyed it quite well. But let's try to. I'm gonna answer one. Okay, I don't know. I'll double check. But last time I saw it didn't have EL zone in it. But again, we can see. But I don't think the S12 has it. But I'll go check. So just one last week. Is Canon working on a global shutter? I feel the R6 is a discriminatory photography, so they compensated with a flood of video specs. Um, I don't know if they're working on a global. I don't know if I don't think Canon's working on a global shutter. Right now, I don't know exactly, so can't answer that. All right, I think we've caught up on a lot of this, so I'm ready to move on. We're not going to get to this guy, not yet. We're going to first talk about Sony. We're going to talk about Sony, in particular, that anybody that has had the update from Sony and has been waiting for Blackmagic to do their part and update the video sits. As of Tuesday, the day's finally come. So now today, so as of now, you can finally record Blackmagic RAW to your Sony FX3 and FX30 cameras. And I know the update is going to come to the FX6 next year, but also then we still got to wait to see when will Blackmagic update the FX6 on the video assist. So I've been so busy. I only got a chance literally like today to get a couple shots. There's a few things that I think it's worth mentioning that I want to think some good positives and some not so sure, but something that you should be aware of. But on the positive side, so you get to shoot the full 4.2 K recording on the video assist, just like you did if you were using ProRes RAW. Also, if you're shooting 5:1 on it, you I think 3:1 works as well, but I didn't shoot really long, but I know I ran it for like 45 seconds to a minute on one of the clips that I'm going to get ready to show you guys. But basically, I was able to record that to these V90 SD cards. And this is 128 gigabyte. If you're shooting 5:1 on the FX3, you are going to get, I believe it was about 48 minutes of runtime on 128 gigabyte card, 5:1 compression, which honestly, that's not bad. Again, it's only 128 gigabytes. So if you want to get some of the higher cards, you can. So you don't have to figure out how you're going to Frankenstein rig for an SSD. It will write to the V90 cards. I have the pro grade V90 cards, so they will work on that. So the good news is that basically the first good news is you can basically keep your rig light if you have a video assist, you can keep your rig light and you can record on the FX3 in RAW and it will write to the SD cards because it's not a high resolution 6K file. Basically, you can write to SD cards, which a lot of the other cameras, you're not able to do that. So I want to show you guys. So I'm going to cut to DaVinci Resolve, and I'm going to go through some of these. So I was able to get these shots of my daughter. She's sitting here. So this is me shooting at ISO 800. I have shots here standing up so you guys can sort of see. Overall, the quality is really good, but I've also made a little bit of adjustments because, as you will see down here, there's some things that are not, if you're trying to just work in an S-Log, a Sony color space, it's not going to be beneficial because one, you're going to have, if you're going to shoot Blackmagic RAW, you have to ingest Blackmagic RAW's Gen 5 or Gen 4 color science. And then when you go, you can shoot S-Gamut 3.Cine, but for some reason, there's not an S-Log 2, there's still not an S-Log profile in DaVinci Resolve. But you know what? I'm assuming that's going to, that may be in the new update. So forgive me, I haven't updated to the latest firmware, so that may be the situation. So right now I'm still on the previous version of DaVinci Resolve before the recent update that they dropped. So, but I guess the other benefit is that you can change this to any different color spaces that you want. So you can go in, if you want to do an Arri color space with Arri Log 4C, or you can go Arri Log C3, and then you can just, and then basically you just do a DaVinci Resolve color space pipeline. I typically like using a node-based color, going from basically taking it to DaVinci Wide Gamma Intermediate, and then I use a DRT. And the DRT, my favorite DRT is the JP2499, because it just makes things very simple. But if I take out the noise reduction and then the lift I did, this is basically when you convert it to Rec 79. This is essentially what it looks like. And overall, it's pretty clean. I've got, the sun is actually like over in this area here. So, but we're getting closer to sunset. So it's not in the middle of the day. So it definitely could be brighter. But in terms of the diamond range, it's actually capturing quite a lit. Obviously, the lights up here is the things is blown out. But I'm really liking how the colors work. It looks a lot better, and you can definitely see there's definitely some noise, particularly down here where at the bottom. And actually, I have another shot. I think this will be a better shot to show that I got my little case over here. There's a little bit of noise, but it's still, again, for a raw image, it's still pretty clean. And you can I just did the slightest of noise reduction, as you see here. Just cranked it up just a little bit, but just that little bit cleaned it up quite a bit. So this is the Sony with using Blackmagic RAW straight, for the most part, straight out of camera. And then so same thing here, and you can see sort of the waveform, like turning the noise reduction on definitely helps a little bit. And then I basically raised the global on the HDR just a little bit. And yeah, this is essentially what we get. The other thing I should point out is that right now, this could be like involved in the update. So I'll make another video that's going to be a little bit more concrete. So with the new update, but in this video at least, I can't adjust the color temp. But I'm assuming that with the new update, we'll be able to do that. But yeah, it's pretty. But yeah, I will say this. Even right now in this older version, it looks pretty good. It looks very, very similar to how a lot of more of the Blackmagic cameras. But again, that's because we're also using Blackmagic's color science for that. So if there's any additional questions that anybody has with the Sony FX3 update, definitely let me know. I'll be following chats, and I'll happily answer you guys' questions. So let's go back here. Thanks, pal. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Ernie boy, yo, James, what's going on? My Pyxis 12K just arrived today, pre-ordered on April 4th, delivered on November 6th. So I'm glad and happy. So here's the thing. I actually didn't pre-order this. I didn't pre-order this camera. I actually just bought it Monday. I was waiting to get I was hoping to get a loaner from Blackmagic because I was told I was getting a loaner because I figured, hey, I could get the chance to try it before I actually would buy it. But everybody's in demand to get it, so they weren't able to give it to me yet, and I was like, I decided to open up, go to B&H, and I saw that it was available, so I was just like, yeah, let me go buy it. Then it showed back ordered, but then literally 15 minutes later, I was told that it was shipped. So that is awesome. So it looks like they're getting shipped out quite a bit. So awesome. Hey, what's up? Thank you for saying for the Netherlands again. It's midnight. Oh wow, so you're definitely here. I really do appreciate you, man. Thank you for joining. So hopefully this conversation, this content is helping you, man. They updated every month. I need to update mine too. We should be thankful. Yeah, no, they like that's the thing. Yeah, Blackmagic updates resolve constantly. I think, especially since they put in all these new AI features in there, it's just been like constant updates. But yeah, so that's good to hear. Yeah, no, I'm pleased. So the fun thing I do like the fact that I get to use V90 SD cards because it's pretty much only a 4K camera. I can use V90 SD cards and not have any issues with it with the video assist. I like the fact, and again, the image it looks much more similar to Blackmagic, but it also has a lot more of that. It has that in that 12-bit format, so definitely I do like what I'm seeing off of BRaw. But again, I want to see in terms of what I can do once I update to resolve. So again, this is TBD on final thoughts on the update until that. How hard would it be to match those with a Blackmagic camera? That's a great question. I don't know yet. So, but that is something I will be definitely in the coming days. I will be testing to see. Now that I got both the Pyxis, I can shoot Pyxis. I'll shoot 6K. Cinema camera 6K, and I'll shoot the FX3. That's the video I'm planning to do, is all that in B-Raw and seeing how good, if I was to do like a multi-camera setup, how would it be to match all of these cameras? So, awesome. Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. So it looks like not everybody doesn't have any other questions about the updates for Sony and the B-Raw. So, but I guess you guys were ready to talk about this. We ready to talk about this guy? Let's get into it. So, as my phone gives me the notifications, and I'll silence that. We have right here, the video assist. Not video assist, the Pyxis 12K. So, for those of you that have been following my channel for a while, y'all know I have pretty much this has been the camera I've been saying has been my end game for quite some time. And I'm really, really excited to shoot with this camera. So, I want to emphasize again, as I did at the beginning, I literally just got this camera yesterday and I haven't had the time yet to actually go out and shoot with it. I will have that all tomorrow, but as of today, I don't. And also, just I'm still waiting for a few pieces. I'm still waiting for some few things, but I did learn a few things that I think will be helpful because nobody's really talking about them. One, I have, in terms of media, I right now have the Lexar Gold that are certified by Blackmagic to use with this camera. So I got two of those. They were just under, I think they were like $420 for two 512 gigabyte cards. So everybody talks about the 12K and the 8K, which is really good. But I was the one that was like really, really interested in, hey, what it would be like to shoot in 4K. So I don't know if this is easy for you guys to read, but right now I have two of the Lexar 512s in there. This is 4K 16:9, and let me check the compression ratio. It's constant bit rate at 5:1, which I think most people are going to. I think if you're going to shoot 4K, this is probably the most used. This is going to be the most used one that has a good combination of good quality, a good amount of bit rates, and for something like a 4K. On a 512 gigabyte card, you're going to get an hour and 56 minutes of runtime. So 2 cards, you essentially got 4 hours of record time. So for me, that is great. That's more than enough for me. And so I'm very, very excited. And again, when you're shooting 4K, you're not cropping in on the sensor, except you're cropping into the aspect ratio, but it's still the full width of the sensor. So if I wanted to go 3x2 open gate, we can go 3x2 open gate. And in terms of 4K 3x2 open gate, each 512 gigabyte card, you're going to get an hour and 40 minutes. So that's about what? That's about 3.5 hours. So in 3x2 open gate, you're going to get 3.5 hours of record time. Again, that to me for a day's shoot, in terms of digestible content for the level of work that we do, that's more than enough. That is enough that I could do. Now, I guess we could ask this, like, well, what happens if you want to just give the most compressed? I want to just compress it down to the lowest I can to get the smallest file sizes. So in that case, we got to go to constant quality, and we got to go to Q5. And in that option, if you're shooting 4K 3x2 open gate, you're going to get, let's see here, 3 hours, 43 minutes, and 41 3 hours, 43 minutes, and 41 seconds for a 512 gigabyte CF Express Type B card. Essentially, if you put two 512 or basically a terabyte, you run basically a terabyte of media, you're going to get over 7 hours of record time. You'll pretty much be good for an entire day of shooting. So I think, quite frankly, and to be frank with you, that amount of data, is about the same as if I was going to shoot all eye on the Sony FX3. And by the way, this is true 24 frames in true 24 frames a second. So in terms of media, that is the point I wanted to bring out. In terms of the monitor, I will notice that the color on the side monitor is different than the monitor on the Pyxis. I'll see which one is more accurate because I don't know yet. Again, I haven't recorded a single thing yet with this camera. So, also let me ask: I don't know how loud the fan is because I'm like right here. But if you want to be curious of just how loud that fan is, I'll just go silent just for like 15 seconds. So take that how that feels. Again, I don't know if there's like compressions on the audio, but at least for me, it's definitely audible. So if you're going to maybe run shotgun mic on this may be something you may want to consider. You may try to want to, especially if you got a mic that has a really good condenser, you should be fine. But it's just maybe something you want to wear if you're going to try to run shotgun microphones or something like that. If your speaker is farther away from the camera, I think there's going to be lights and other things that are going to be louder than what this camera records. So let's see what people have questions. Okay, let's see here. Let's see what we got here. That would be great to develop some LUTs to shoot with the Pyxis and the FX3. Yeah, so that's something that's actually on my to-do list to put out to create a matching Pyxis FX3 look using BRaw. So I'll definitely have that, and that will go on my digital store. And then I'll just also even try to see if I can match the 10. I can make 10-bit to match to the Pyxis 12K, but we'll see. Pyxis 4K for 2K would be great. Yeah. We'll see if they would actually do something like that. Well, okay, yes. Don't have one. Ask all the questions you want. That's the whole point of this. That's one of the main reasons why I'm doing this chat right now. Is there a lag using the video assist with the FX3 via HDMI like it is with the Lumix? Yes. I don't know how. I mean, I haven't tested how much of a difference the lag is or the latency is, but the latency is noticeable. I don't know if it's as noticeable as the situation with Lumix, but that's typically what going to be the problem with HDMI regardless, because HDMI tends to be heavily latent compared to something like SDI. So I don't know how much, or if it's worse, or if it's the same, or if it's better than Lumix's latency, but I do know that the latency is noticeable. But from my guess, it's not distracting. I haven't found it to be distracting. I'll just say that. What's the advantage of using CF Express over SSD? The main thing is that it's internal. The CF Express are internal, and you don't have to worry about points of failure. Michael, I don't know about you, but me personally, I am staunchly against using external SSDs for recording. Those of those people that have been following me know I'm a big opponent of using SSDs, because just from not only my own personal experience, but the personal experience of a lot of my colleagues that have had issues with using SSDs, because either A, they brought a Type-C cable that was not compatible with the data the amount of data that needs to push. They did not have it was not compatible necessarily with the SSD card, or it just stopped recording, even though the camera would show that it was recording, which is something that happened to me, and it didn't record anything. So for me, I never shoot anything to SSDs, because again, you now, instead of just having the camera and the media card, which is what you would have with CF Express, you now have the camera, the cable, the SSD, and then there's just you're just adding more points of failure to the signal chain. So to me, it's always been CF Express. CF Express are just as fast, if not faster, than most of the SSDs. Outside of the really high-end SSD drives, CF Express is just as fast, if not faster. So that's my point in terms of SSDs. So also, I guess this will be a good time to talk about the weight and size of this. Take this off. I actually think the weight is not that bad. I only got a chance to just hold it but it was fully rigged out, and everybody that I've seen had fully rigged out. I didn't want you recording. Why are you? I hit the record button, sorry, by accident. But it feels really nice in the hands. It feels really good. And it actually feels really well balanced, particularly with this lens, which is the Sigma 28 to 70 for L mount. It's part of their contemporary lines of lenses, which means it's also really, really light.
So this is great. Now, I didn't have a battery yet because it's coming through. I was willing to, I wanted to, again, and also I wanted to try to test to keep it light. As you guys can see, it's actually right now on my travel tripod, and I was actually walking around, and it actually feels really good. It's still super light with this setup on this. The video assist is not the video assist. The Pyxis monitor is really light. It's really light. When I first got this, I was just like, man, this feels really light. And it is. So so that's good with just trying to get a balance in weight. So one of the things I did discover, which is kind of a disappointment, is that I had, as you guys know, I have these Inu power banks. I love these guys because these things are only like $55, but they can power your FX3s. I've been using these to power my cinema camera 6K, and these things run it for hours. These are 99 watt hours. They're significantly smaller and lighter, and of course cheaper. So if you on the back, this was showing that this was actually had the volts and ampage to power this. So I was really curious. So I went and bought one of these Type-C to 2-pin LEMOs to see if I could power the camera. And it powered it on for a second. And then the camera just shut back down. Now, I don't know if this has to do with the battery itself or the cable's not delivering the ampage. Because I believe for this needs 5 amps of delivery. And I think this cable is only providing 3 amps of delivery. So, and you need anywhere between 12 to 18 volts. So I want to see if I can still find an 18 volt or a 15 volt USB-C to 2-pin LEMO kit. But in the meantime, I still got my Core SWX power banks. I need to get a battery that goes to 2-pin LEMO. That's coming tomorrow. So that's why it's sort of set up like this, where the power thing is on the side. But if you could do that, you can use something like small rigs, that little small V-mount thing that if you have Arca Swiss that goes to Arca Swiss, you can use that, and it actually balances really well on this camera when it's bare bones like this. Now, once you start rigging up and you start adding more weights to this, that's where you get it conflict. But I feel it's still like this. It's usable. I just need to find the right accessories where I can still have this super compact, because I kind of like it like this, where I can just have it really like not super rigged up, cage up like everybody does, but just showing like if you can keep it really small and compact. So hopefully I can see how long these batteries, if they actually do work, how long these batteries work. But in the meantime, I still got my cores, so hopefully I can solve that. All right. Trevor, I'm still a fan of SSD drives. I know you are, man. And look, experience has just really salted my desire to ever shoot SSDs again. What batteries am I holding? So this is the Core SWX Edge Link. So these are the ones that, like, if you were to get 2 of these, Core actually sent me these to try, but you could like combine these up, and it will actually run power. So this was sort of like their version before their latest ones, which are the Snap ones, which are like the magnetic ones that magnetically attach to one another. This was sort of like the original concept that they originally had before that one. These were great. They'll run for hours, so you can combine 2 of these. So these are 2 70 watt hours, so which actually means it's like 140 watts that you can try run for 2 of these guys, which is great. And then if we're talking about this is the Inu P. This is the Inu P63 power bank. This is a 99 watt hour battery. It will output 100 watts of power. But the big thing about this is, one, it's small and tiny, as you can see right here, and it has 25,000 milliamp hours. I'm not going to try to get super nerdy and super detail about it, but the main thing is volts are the charge, watts is the power, ampage is basically the space that the current can run through. So the more ampage you have, the more amps you have, the easier for higher volts to flow through at a constant rate. So having, because even something like these, a lot of your V-mount batteries, they don't nearly have the milliamp hours that these guys have. So like for this, let me see where I can find it. Each one of these is a 4,900 milliamp hour battery, which pretty decent. But again, 4,900 compared to 25,000 milliamp hours, there's a huge difference. And the TLDR is basically, this will run high voltages at a much more constant rate at a longer period of time. Because I know one of the things that when it came to a lot of Blackmagic cameras is that people couldn't find consistencies in their batteries, even though it's like, oh, I know this is a 45 watt hour battery, or especially the LPE6 batteries, there wasn't consistency, and that is because the ampage, the milliamps on those batteries is extremely low. And when you get cameras like the Cinema Camera 6Ks or the Pocket Cinema cameras, going all the way up to these, you need high milliamp hours to run it constantly at a consistent basis. So that's why I was really curious to get these, and I've basically MacGyvered a V-mount plate onto, and basically Gorilla Gluing the V-mount plate onto the back of this. So, yeah, that's the reason why I have this here. So the long story is that I'm waiting for a few parts to get in so I can basically run power, and have this a little bit more of a running gun, a fully truly running gun setup. And then I'll have more about it. So in the meantime, does anybody have any more questions about the Pyxis? Or is there something you would love for me to cover about the Pyxis while I got it on, either while I got it on, sort of to check for you if you want to look, or is there something that that you are interested in, that you would like me to test? So that way I would love to know, so I can know and I can provide that to you guys as well. But yeah, I'm so happy. I'm so happy with this. Right now, I've just tested it out just a little bit, but I love how it feels. It's definitely runs warm, but with a nice little side handle, I definitely see myself like I can hold it to like my chest, like right here, and then the monitor, I can turn the monitor and just watch it here. So thank you, Giovanni. Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited. As you can tell, I'm excited. I'm also hot down here. I blew the heater on max to get the space. Well, now it's like smoldering. But yeah. So how is the fan noise? So right now it's on standby. It sounds like, I'll say this, it sounds, if you've ever worked with a Red DCM2 camera, it has the same amount of about the same amount of fan noise as like the old DCM C2 cameras from Red. So I personally don't think it's a big deal, because a lot of the ways I plan to use this, I'm not running shotgun on here, though. I'm trying to see if I can get Blackmagic to give me that broadcast set that had the top handle and the shotgun mic attached to it. So I'm curious to see how that is going to work. Blackmagic did say they're going to send me the EVF as well as the uh, the top handle base plate kit. So that's gonna probably be a while because it takes a while for them to send stuff to me. But that if you guys are curious about those accessories directly from Blackmagic, I'll definitely make video content for you guys about it. But it's definitely if you're right next to it, it is definitely noticeable. But if you're recording stuff separately, I don't think, especially when you got all the other elements when you're shooting something outside, I don't think it's going to be as noticeable. Is there a side plate for the handle? For a handle. So they don't come with a so it does not come with a side plate, but you can see that there is screws on the side here, to which, and it has the middle part has a 5/8 with the lock that has like the lock-in sides, so you can put either an RE rosette. I think they have an RE rosette, one plate that has an RE rosette that you can attach a Blackmagic that you can attach a handle. What comes with, if you're just getting the camera, what comes with it is a side plate that has an SSD holder or a phone holder. So that's the main thing that comes with the camera. There's additional side pieces for it, but that's something you have to purchase separately. So let's see. What type of project gigs do you plan to use the Pyxis for versus the FX3? The main area I plan to use this for is documentaries, where documentaries and commercial shoots are the main areas, because those is where both the quality and sort of the settings that it is. Those I'm having a sound person, so I need time. So need time code reference. I have those situations. I'm probably possibly having a first AC. So I have multiple video outs. So especially with the 12K has 3 video outs. So it has the SDI out, but each of the 2 USB-Cs, one in the front and one in the back, sends video data. So if you have a USB-C to HDMI, you can actually run a video signal through those ports as well. So it's got 3 video outputs. But I'm also going to use it for like solo projects as well. And in use with the FX3. For example, I plan this to be my second camera, or I guess you could make the case the first camera, but it's going to be one of the 2 cameras for when I shoot weddings. Mainly because, again, it's the fact that I can shoot 4K 16:9 and I can go really, really small file sizes. So which will save me a ton of space, and which is a lot, and I just turn those in. So that's going to be really lovely. And also the fact that it also still has a 9K Super 35 mode option. So if I do need to sort of maybe punch in a little bit more, I can go into that Super 35 mode in 16:9, and I can get way more range and way more use cases out of it. So weddings is another one I plan to use this on a lot. And then the last one is narrative. And mainly because because it has OpenGate, and basically you can access OpenGate in 12K, in 8K, and in 4K. It opens up my creativity and the creative content that I want to make, both narrative and in terms of creative content. I can shoot in 3x2 and then format to wherever I want, but also I get to shoot anamorphics. I can take advantage a lot more of anamorphic lenses with this, so that's great. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm definitely am excited, man. Uh, I'm not. I'm really. I'm really. I really am. I really am. Good size for run and gun. Actually, yeah, that's the thing. I know a lot of people are going to say this is not necessarily designed for run and gun. I intend to try to see how far is that actually true or not true, because I'm going to definitely try to find ways to keep it small, light, and compact. I just know I love it. I love how it feels in the hands. It feels really, really good in the hands. The only thing is just being mindful because it does get warm, because I can already feel the heat. So I would have to definitely get a side handle. But yes, you can get, and this, I guess, a hand grip. And I guess what he's talking like, yeah, you can, again, you can attach a hand grip to it, but you're going to have to get the accessories to side it. Wedding's best cinema camera is best is R6 III C50. Yeah, I think that is a very, very correct statement. I don't argue it at all. But I know I can shoot with anything for weddings. I will say this: there's times where I'm farther back than I necessarily want to be, and this camera will help because I can punch in, and still keep. I can punch in if I want to, and it still has high resolution. Whereas if you try to punch in on other cameras, you will lose a lot of resolution, a lot of details. So this has some flexibilities that's not necessarily the C50 or the R6 Mark III. But I will say this, yeah, I think the R6 III and the C50 are excellent combos for weddings. So no argument for me on that. I'm assuming, Giovanni, you're talking about the C50 and the R6 III. Yes, they are oversampled. Both the C50 and the R6 III are oversampled. If in terms of frame rates for like this guy right here, so this guy right here is this guy right here actually will shoot open gate up to 72 frames a second. 12-bit RAW, 3x2 open gate, 4K or 8K or 12K. Oh no, I'm sorry, 4K or 8K up to 72 frames a second. There isn't a lot of cameras that are going to be able to compete with that. There's only one camera that is under $10,000. There's only one camera that's under $10,000 that currently could compete with that, and that is the Confinity Mavo LF, where it does shoot 4K 60, and you can downsample from the 6K to the 4K. But outside of that, there really isn't another camera that can do that. So with 12-bit, 4K, 60 frames a second or higher, there just isn't another camera that can do that. Oh, does 460 is oversampled? Yeah, look, with this camera, basically 8K or 4K, whatever frame rate options you have is taken from the 6K set from 12K. It's all over. It is oversampled, but Blackmagic doesn't call that. They call it sensor scaling because it's not exactly oversampled, but it is oversampled. I made a video about like the whole process of how this RGBW sensor works. So if you're interested, definitely check that video out and read and sort of. I go a lot more details. I think it's a little bit it's a little bit techy, but long story short, it takes the information of the 12K and then the camera tricks itself into thinking it's a lower resolution than it actually is, and that's basically the gist of it. So even though 12K only goes up to I think 48 frames a second, once you get to 8K and 4K, it's 72 frames a second. So, yeah. ZVE1 or ZR? I don't know. That one I can't really tell you. I wouldn't have an answer for that. Mainly because I just feel they're a different audience than what I look. I know there's a lot of hype with the Nikon ZR, and to be perfectly honest, there's some good things about it, but I'll be honest, I just feel like it's being overhyped right now. There's a lot of influencers that are just having a lot of uh, a lot of insurance, a lot of motivation to really push the camera. I'll just say that. A lot of the influencers are highly motivated to push the camera. Um, which is cool. I mean, it's business. Business is business. No knocking that. But I'm just every time I've seen footage from it or I've seen some works, like some works have been really great, but majority of the time I'm just like, I just don't feel the need. I just feel like it's it wouldn't be as impressive as a camera if it didn't have the red code RAW formatted. And I've actually had a conversation with one of my friends recently, who we work on lots of major projects together, and he's really like really close with people like Danny Gravitz, with Carlos Stigliano, a lot of much bigger influencers, bigger content creators that that are known on YouTube, and he's really close to those guys, has worked with them constantly, and we were actually having a conversation, and basically everybody he's talked to around here in Philly that has looked at the ZR, they've tried it, and they were like, I'm sticking with the Sony FX3, and they're just going to be workhorses. I just think, and that's kind of how I feel. It's just like outside of that one thing, I don't know if I find this intriguing to grab the camera. There's not enough, at least for me. And again, that's sort of my opinion. The Pyxis is a real workhorse of a camera, no BS. Yeah. I don't want to. I want to say yes, but again, it wouldn't be right of me to say that, as I haven't even recorded anything yet with it. I will eventually. I hate weddings. I don't see how you do it. Having lights stay on it's highly motivated for me to do weddings. Look, it's definitely not my first choice or second or third or fourth or fifth. But there's a format. There's something. It's something that it's if you're just that you can use your skills and work on something. I think what makes it work for me is that I don't have to do any editing. When I'm shooting weddings now, I never edit. I haven't edited a wedding in 5 years. So for me, it's sort of like, hey, I just come in, I shoot, I hand the footage off. So that has definitely helped me keep me motivated to shoot weddings. Because if I had to edit weddings, oh hell no, hell no, I would never do it. So yeah, I totally agree with you, but bills keep me going with it. You're using the Pyxis 12K. Thank you. Again, haven't really tried it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm assuming, Bill, you're talking about the Nikon ZR. So, um, yeah, I haven't figured out a way how I felt about the ZR. It's just like, it's just not doing it enough for me. Awesome, man. Most of the videos created from YouTubers on the ZR are pure garbage, to be blunt. It's kind of weird. I bought one and it's very fun camera though. Like I don't knock that it's going to be a great and very fun camera. I I think I think a lot of things is that a lot of things that makes people like a camera or not, it's really the user experience. And I think there's two major things. There's really obviously there's three. There's the red code RAW, obviously, but outside of that, to me, I think it's more so that there is a real sense of user friendly experience, especially with that large screen. I think the biggest thing about the ZR is the screen, which is fantastic. I mean, that was one of the things I absolutely love about the Cinema Camera 6A. like having a large screen actually on the camera really does change your user experience. And user experience is like 60% of the way for most cameras. So but yeah, like I don't know why. I just and yet everybody, it just feels like everybody's just trying to force. It felt very same way of how I felt a lot of people were trying to push the S1 and the S1R2 when they came out. It's just this weird sense of pushing, and I don't know. I'm not really vibing it from YouTubers. Nice, 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 nice. Yes, the ZR is meant to be an entry body to Red Sea system. We need to wait and all what comes next. Like I'm said, I'm intrigued to see what comes next, but um, there's just a lot of YouTubers that are just coming out and just like, this is the greatest camera ever, and I'm just like, really? Or this is the best camera ever for this price point, and I'm just like, before the tariffs, the Cinema Camera 6K was $2,600, so it wasn't that much more expensive. And if you were to give me a choice between the ZR and the Cinema Camera 6K, I'll be honest, I would rather take the Cinema Camera 6K. My personal opinion. Official second base ISO on the R6 III. I thought they said there was dual native ISOs. I think it was 6400. I think it's the same as the C50. So we'll see. Yeah, exactly. Revenues. They're consistent. You know what to do, and they're good. They're good to just keep the lights on. And I agree. Editing weddings is a slow death, and which is why I am not doing them anymore. Arch Manning. That's awesome. Okay, it's almost 8. We're getting close to the 8:30 mark. So I'm going to definitely start winding down and start ending the stream soon. So if you guys do have questions, please leave them in the comment section of this live stream, because I will be monitoring it and I will make sure to get back to it regarding this regarding the Pyxis 12K. Again, I'm really excited to see the magic I can make with this, and I'm really excited to share that with you. So a few final comments. The big screen is what pulled me into the pocket cameras too, not having to rig up an external monitor if you don't have to. Yeah, and actually, if you get a clamp on, like I've had the cinema camera on this little tripod right here, which is extremely light. And then I get one of these clamp on that you tighten onto you can tighten onto the legs, one of the legs, and has a V-mount plate, female V-mount plate. I just take one of these batteries, clack it onto there, put the cable, run it to there, and I can shoot all day with that. So yeah, absolutely. I love the fact that I can keep it a small compact. Kadeem, you almost missed live. Yep, well, we're winding down right about now. How about getting some affiliate links? So, yes, so I will leave some affiliate links in a pinned comments after the stream ends. Again, leave your comments there. So if you want to pick up the Pyxis, probably going to be from B&H, because that's the only one affiliate link that I have that I've seen that could get it. I already have the affiliate link for the R6 Mark III, as well as the 45mm one too. So if you want to, definitely use that affiliate link. I already have it in the description. So if you want to buy the R6 Mark III, definitely try it there. Yeah, thank you guys. So I'm going to just call it quits here. Thank you guys for joining me. I really do appreciate it, as always. Make sure to join me. Typically I'm here like every 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it was just a little later today. But thank you guys. And as always, until next time.